We're live, fucking live. Got the old fireplace going, and that is not the sun. That's my light, a little LED light. Even though they're guilty of putting out frequencies. Nobody really knows what they are doing, but got the door kind of propped open there. The door, right? The door, the tarp, and got it's messy in here. I gotta need to tidy up. Jarbo, the first will is thou shalt not eat my fucking Jarbo, motherfuckers. We got some coffee and some, man, just real quick before we get into this. I was gonna make this morning. Me and Bleak Narratives were talking to Mr. Calvin Talbert there. Needs to get his bar, man. If anybody's got any spare change, dude, he's sick and he can't get out to the store too far because he's out of food. So if y'all could send him, I, get him some DoorDash or something. I'm sure he'll send you his contact information for a pizza or something. Um, we're all struggling, and there's a lot of you all, a lot of people that didn't expect to see me in this type of situation or to see me uh, adapt, to uh, whatever. A lot of people like Monograph or whatever were expects to see people break the fuck down and not and overcome like our species is meant to do. We don't get sick unless somebody designs something to make us sick. You know, So they're always trying to do that. The perfect example, the XBB variant. It's in Singapore right now, but guarantee you that's the one they're eyeballing to spread all over the place. Or it's going to spread by itself, right? When like nobody's flying, it's too few spaces to fly. Anyway, um, yeah, Kevin Talbert there, Bleak Narratives. I'm sure he's probably got a PayPal or Cash App up on his description, but somebody order a DoorDash pizza or get him some money so he gets something to eat. Man, it's difficult when you never expect to be in a situation. And I know all the community's been telling everybody, look, guys, I don't care how comfortable you are, shit can hit the fan in your personal life at any minute, and you wind up fucking in this situation right here, right? Okay, I'm fucking dead serious, and 90% of you motherfuckers, and I know a lot of people aren't going to see this because I'm on my backup channel, but 90% of the people out there could not mentally fucking handle something like this and be able to, clean their hands enough to not get an infection and then just die, or know how to filter water if you got stuck somewhere, or purify your water like with no equipment or anything. While we have the technology and electrical power to these devices that give us the information, on so much information you all don't even fucking know how to what it means. Like, you talk to people about the Bluetooth or whatever on the street, they don't know what the fuck you're talking about. They don't know how their devices fucking work, dude. When we grew up with these these video games and stuff, most of us wanted to know how it worked, and we take the motherfucker apart to look at the insides, especially if it broke. Before we took it to get it fixed, we'd pop the motherfucker open, make sure there ain't no alien guy in there pulling levers and shit, little demons in the machine. And some people think that that's what it is. Some of these fucking radicals, it doesn't matter what religion you are, think there's actually little entities in these fucking devices. And there is, but it's not the proverbial hairy demon or whatever. They're not corporeal, these intelligences and stuff. So we got two people in here. The three wills, not the three wills of God. That's some bullocks people telling you that God's like God has emotions like man. No, we were made in the divine, in their image. It says in the Bible, in our image. What does that mean? Well, it means more than one, for that matter. Or the divine has a multiple personality disorder, right? Like most of us do, willing to admit it or not. Half the people that you think or try and make you believe they're normal are really the most unstable, unhinged motherfuckers in the world, dude. And then they try and label people like me because I have a funny manic episode from an early age because I couldn't comprehend why people couldn't fucking understand shit that was just basic fucking common sense to me, you know? And it drives me crazy this fucking day, dude. I was aware of the cognitive dissonance back in 1985 when I was fucking 6 years old. You know, I knew something was fucking going on because people couldn't relate like the the meaning of like a He-Man episode or a Fraggle Rock. You know, the moral to the story. People didn't get what fucking this was trying to say, and the teachers were telling us one thing when actually it's no, dude. No, I know what Dr. Seuss was fucking. You know what I mean? I know better than that shit. You're trying to tell me putting a condom on a banana is appropriate for a third grader, right? A banana this big. And his is only, you know, third grade. It's only like that. He's like, why would I need to know how to put a banana? I'm put a banana up, right? Why would I need to know how to put a condom on? But a banana teacher, oh, well, you might have to do it for, you know, your uncle Biden one day. So the three wills, and this is not the three wills of God, because God is inside us. We manifest God. God manifested us. We manifest God. It's a infinite looping Mandelbrot, right? Fractalized Mandelbrot. And then CERN has pretty much put us into so much quantum entanglement that y'all are going, everybody's going, man, are you me in a different dimension, but future parallel timeline in this now, but in the past, right? And I know I go around like a crazy man spouting out shit, but if you're following along, I know Kevin's following along. There's a lot of people follow along that can read in between the lines, you know, like Woodward TV deciphers a lot of this with Christian discernment, you know. Like I grew up and they were saying, you know, you got to accept Jesus and the laws, the rules of God and all this stuff. I was like, okay, well, all right, well, sure, you know. But what was more important was the things like not saying certain words around your grandma, not saying around your mom. There's things you could say and do around your grandma or mom or and the lady next door, or you know, some well, back in the 80s, in the early 90s, there were no like a whole lot of drag queens outside of, you know, San Francisco, New York City, or whatever. So we didn't even know what the fuck that was. Like things you could say to, you know, the whore walking down the street or whatever. Uh, $50 Sally at the strip joint, you know, that you ain't gonna say to your grandma. That's more important than uh, what I what I was worried about God thinking. If God told me to tell grandma to fuck off, I'd be like, dude, she won't fix me dinner or for a week if I did that. No way, dude. You know, so there's things that these preachers are telling you that you're like, wait a minute. Like, dude, I put that back. So you could tell when these guys are just speaking out their ass for money and trying to manipulate the word in their favor, especially if they're 501c3. You know, if you want to go to church, make sure it's an outreach and they're not 501c3. If they are, they probably got a bunch of motherfuckers up there with the mark of the beast up in them anyway. You know, the Bluetooth mark of the beast. Now, Bluetooth is two Norse runes, which means telekinesis and basically quantum, all things together. So it's basically quantum telekinesis, right? Telecommunications, invisible, spooky action at a distance. Einstein's spooky action at a distance. And I was explaining this to this gal came. I got compelled to go up to the cup today, to the church, and I just grabbed a cup of coffee. But as I pulled in, there was my compulsion right there. Beautiful young, blonde-haired, blue-eyed gal. You know, she'd have to be, you know, out of school in her 20s or so, in her early 20s, maybe 19. Anyway, I got out and said, "Hey, how you doing?" And she's not too bad, not too good. And I said, "What's the matter?" She said, "Oh, I'm pregnant and I mean to talk about God and stuff." And I was like, "Well, go ahead." You know, she started talking to me, and then we got inside, and I like, you know, was going to scan her down, and she goes, "Oh, I didn't." I asked her, "Did you get it?" And she goes, "Oh, no, of course not." And she wasn't showing yet or anything. Apparently, she knew she was pregnant. And her boyfriend, who she said had thought he was a Pleiadian alien, I was like, well, you better remind him to get back here because you got his alien baby up inside you. But all jokes aside, though, guys, if you leave something like that and go to Branson, from here to Branson, leaving your fucking good-looking young girlfriend pregnant, leaving her homeless and with nowhere to go, dude, if I see your ass, woo, you know what? You're going to have to be finding a place to fucking go. Called the hospital. So better not see your punk ass anywhere, Mr. Pleiadian. Put her in that situation. The people at Echo gave her a room, gave her the young, pregnant, displaced mother room. So thank you, Echo. Outreach there next to the cup. They're doing good works here. Out pretty much in the boondocks, where back in Benton County, Walmart headquarters, there's women's shelters, but there's just not enough for the population to handle that stress of what they've been putting us through. So the three wills, right? Coffee was one will. Coffee. No. Tobacco. Second will, tobacco. And the third will, Jarbo, Hungarian chocolate pastry. Right? Let me get a bite of that. Well, the three wills are the will of man, the will of nature, and the will of the cosmos, which you could say is God. You know, that's my God. Is the entirety consciousness of the cosmos, of our intergalactic plane and everything that's on it, or in it, or outside of it. Everything inside and outside of our intergalactic space. Whether we are under a firmament of not or not, there's got to be something outside that firmament. And whether that firmament is just a different thickness of atmosphere or thinness of atmosphere, or if it's a big crystal fucking dome like some people hallucinate. Like, dude, like, really? Asteroids aren't made of crystal, bro. No, they're not. I mean, and they don't metamorphosize as they fall through the atmosphere, right? Because we know that there's different chemical layers to our atmosphere. Now, space might be space is a fluid. Everything acts as a different density of a fluid with varying amplitudes of frequency through its electron spin, proton spin, whatever. So if there's matter with no electrons, right, that's antimatter. Okay. So when you strip matter of its electrons, then therefore it would have no polarity. That's the entities we're working with, pulling through the CERN portal, which Kevin reminded me today. Mr. Talbert reminded me of Bleak Narratives that these things that are underground, we didn't put them underground. Why would we put them underground? We know the magnetic field of CERN is 8 times the pull of the sun. That's the power of it. So how in the fuck just putting it a mile, a measly mile underground, gonna fucking stop that? Gonna make it not affect those up on topside, right? When it's affecting the sun, Jupiter, the moon, right? Now they're wanting to build a fucking a hundred. Well, they found it. They got to the bigger ring. We dug all this shit up, and I was reminded of this one up in northeastern Canada, and called like the I want to say Thanatos reactor, but it's a LHC type thing, and it was a big sphere under this mine. And so I imagine that's probably what they were digging mines for this whole time, was looking for these things that they knew were deeper down than what we're uncovering from the first few layers we're uncovering, which is several hundred feet. At first, we thought it might be, 10, 15, 20 feet of sediment or last civilizations. No, where did they do that shit, a quarter mile down? I mean, we're not going to dig that deep unless you're mining shit, really. And then what's the purpose of mining, really? I think that what we pulled out of the mines was just stuff, and they found a use for it. You just found it, we got to do something with this, so, right? The superpowers that were in charge of everything. So, not saying that we haven't built some down there, but like the super collider down in Texas, right? It was huge. It was big. And they said, and if you look at it now, it's in ruins. And it was just a few years ago. And like almost instantaneously when they shut it down, had people walk in there, and it was like, what it was is they found it, and they never finished fixing it back to operational operations, and it didn't work properly, so they just gave up on it because they were like, oh, we can't fucking fix this, we can't reproduce a fucking ring magnet that that big. So now replacing the magnets in these things, yeah, but did we build them? I seriously fucking doubt it. I don't think so. You see him hauling parts and shit to him? Yeah. But just like the quarries everywhere else, is not, there's no way you can get that much rock out of that area of quarried material. So, I mean, for what they say they built back then. Because if you look around, like here, dude, all the woods and shit, the whole area was fucking occupied, full of people. And they say, it was 20,000 people here at one time back in the 1900s or something. If you go out, like I said, that's from here to the Star Fort to here, it was all occupied. You go up in the hills, you'll find all these terraced walls and old foundations, and mainly just like citadel, like wall bases everywhere. And like a Starlight Trail North, I found that monolithic stone barrier that went all the way around. The Star Fort is what it was. It was on the exterior, about, I'd say 1,200 foot out from the Star Fort wall. And then it went up into Missouri and around. And that was a huge, just that one southern area, the Holiday Island Town Center there is, looks like a Star Fort. The rest of the backside is, you could almost say it was a failed Star Fort, or maybe it was just a larger, more fractalized, right? One of the first ones built, one of the first ones erected. like that somebody said, who did it say? This it might have been covered with water at time. I said, yeah, I think it was Kevin too. I was talking to the only one I talked to today, besides that gal and Spyrodon. I see Spyrodon, but yeah, all this was we find shells and stuff. That's what some of that Tartarian concrete's made with is shell crushed shells, and a lot of this rock around here, you'll find is it'd been under the ocean parts of it, and eventually it receded down where the water level's at now. Oh, Mississippi River's drying up. It's pretty dry. It's down to emergency stage right now. If we don't get some good water, uh, hey, Stuart, telling Stuart, what'd you say your name was again? Was it Sweet Rose? Was it Sweet Rose Cupcake Pie? Oh, well, so yeah, the will of man, the will of nature, and the will of the cosmos, which you could be say is God, and then the Great Mother, which would be any uh, terra energy, right? The planetary uh, frequencies, right? So some planets, what polarity they are, what main frequency they give off, we can't measure that. But like I said, we don't have instruments for measuring below 0 hertz, right? But we know there's ultrasonic, stuff like when they take sonograms, it's ultrasonic, very long. Like Dan Winter talks about long waves, and we don't have any instruments that are publicly available. Now you can get telecommunications testing equipment, which when hooked up to other things like oscilloscopes and propagation, i.e. speakers, you can or antennas or transmission devices, mainly graphene oxide, is in that shit. When you bust open uh, the new transmitters, there's just black sheets in there. That's layered graphene oxide, and because it'll jump gigahertz frequencies into the terahertz range, it will quantify them, transmute them, really, you know. But anyway, the will of man. Let's see, and it's not definite, So the will of God can go against the will of nature or the will of man. The will of nature can go against the will of God and the will of man, and vice versa. And the will of man is just strictly subjected or subjectivity or what to our uh, state of erectile dysfunction, right? But no, I should get some more Jarbo here. Now now I'm gonna have to get on her next time she puts walnuts and shit. You gotta be real careful, or you'll bust a tooth. Um, no, I like walnuts. Damn, man, this woman can cook, dude. You know, I was talking to Kevin today. He was lamenting, and us watchers or whatever you want to call us, we lament. You know, we pray too, but we lament. Because we take other people's burdens and tell the Lord about. He doesn't listen to fucking everybody, but us 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 enlisted men, right, in the holy army or whatever you want to call it. This is when we have something that we're getting upset about. or it. I like to say it. I don't like to refer to the Christian God that these old men and these preachers, especially the ones that grift off their congregation, get them all through fear. You know, they say you need to fear God. No, you need to fear the motherfucker sitting next to you, dude. You need to fear that motherfucker up on the fucking podium. That's who you need to fear. You need to fear what you don't know, because you can know God. All you got to do is look inside. You know better if you're doing something wrong. And if you know you're doing something wrong and you continuously do it till the day you die, you're gonna you're gonna be in a place of torment. Yeah, might not be the hell they described, but you're not gonna be your next life or whatever. If you come back or if you don't, wherever you go is not gonna be pleasant. If at all, you might just cease to fucking exist, and that's the worst thing at all. Because I was telling Ola, her name's Ola, not Olga, that Russian girl I met. Oh, and that gal I met today, her name's Sydney, like Sydney, the gal, what's her face saved in that movie Alien, the girl, you know. And that was her idea for Sydney in Alien, was that she was gonna raise her, and then she'd have babies propagate humans wherever the fucking we're at, if they got back to Earth and it was taken over by aliens. But what's the use? Once you got down to two women, one that can't reproduce. What do you? Probably what happened way a long time ago. They talk about the big female that they got to pop out all these men, and then they like Adam took his rib and manufactured woman. There's always that thing about never trust anything that bleeds for a week and doesn't die. No, fucking, oh shit, man! I swear somebody gave me spiked my fucking shit with sneezing powder, man. Dude, I never had sinus problem like this in my fucking life. No, it wasn't a little bit of medicine I had the other night. It happened last night when I got into the house, and nice old lady here had the gas stove going, and I finally I got the pilot light on this morning. I got the pilot light on this morning to her heater, and it kind of dissipated the irritation that I was having while I was in the house. But shit, I went through a whole fucking roll of toilet paper last night. And that old Zam, that the resident magician here, well, the dog's a magician. He's just the dog's attendee. Zorg. He was sleeping in the truck during that short. I gave him my snow, my magenta, my purple, what was it? Not purple, it's like brown and tan snow. The one that's always on my bed at home. I gave him that blanket because he was keeping warm in there, and they had to sleep. They're sleeping outside, and at least I got a heater to fucking contain a little bit of the heat. But it got pretty fucking cold last night, but I'm all right. I do need a woman or a dog up in here, though. It would make it a whole lot better. Then I'd have to be attending them instead of the town and the people and everything that I need to be attending to multiple things. I wouldn't be able to do that. So, but I did offer. I said, hey, if that guy, if that Pleiadian alien dude that impregnated you don't come back, or you don't want to mess with him, I said I'll try and help you out, and I'll raise a kid. So I told her, I said I need to have more kids myself, because I didn't tell her what was wrong with my son, but I told her, I had a 24-year-old. I did a pretty good job. My parents helped out more than I did, but I was there. I was there for him all the time with soccer and everything. But he doesn't resent me as much as some people resent their parents. But he got a little resent for me. But that's understood. I was a terrible fucking person for a long time. I was a drug addict. Hell, I'm not addicted to drugs, but I fucking use it. But as a matter of fact, uh, Zam gave me just a little bitty bottle of vodka, and I think what I do with that? I think I'm gonna get on it right now. Where'd it go? Give me. There it is. A little cold. Woo. Well, I'm eating my Zorbo. Uh-oh. Rotate screen. Oh, you don't want Mission to start rotating shit. That's that'll get you squirting right away, won't it? It's definitely is not your father's vodka because I don't think he put anything in this one. Zam likes to put herbals in his vodka. What is this? Core vodka. So what are y'all doing? Yeah, I deduced those 3 wills me and Kevin were talking. I popped them up pretty quick. And now y'all go watch that live stream where I pulled the documents on the XBB variant. You gonna shit. Oh man, I just lost the lid. That's not good because that means I gotta drink this whole thing. I ain't know where to set it or it'll spill. What'd I do? Man, I'm getting fucking shit, losing shit here. Yeah, old Kevin was distraught, and I was like, man, you just gotta soldier through it. I said, we're all here, all of us, every single one of us is here that didn't succumb to the fuckery, we're all here because he's got a plan. It's got a plan for using us. We got to do something. Even if we've been here and done it, we must have failed before or something, or we're the best of the best of ones to do it, and we're here. Those of us that know that people like us should have been wiped out, killed a couple years ago when this whole shit started, and they were killing those homeopathic doctors and killing the major players of the right wing conservative movement, and like I'm surprised that there's like preachers and stuff. Well, there's some of them have disappeared, but a lot of them. You could say the people that haven't been touched, you can assume are either agents or servants of the Most High, highly ranked, right? And once you figure out which one of those they are, then you can like start your discernment on realizing that you're still here. You're probably an instrument of the Most High. And if you don't realize that, get off your fucking ass, displace, make yourself scarce, or put yourself out in the middle of fucking everything, I'm pretty much out in the middle of everything right here when shit's going down, when there's, something going on. But like, when there's nothing going on, dude, there ain't fucking nobody but me out here. And the deersies and the animals, right? And the orbs and shit. Like it, I keep coming back to this, and I described it to Kevin. I was like, when I was sitting under that awning and it was storming that night, and it fucking flooded the streets like I'd never seen it down here, and lightning hit the electrical lines right above my head 6 times, 5 to 6 times. Doesn't matter. I mean, more than once. It's just like, damn, dude, right? Like, you're just telling me something. And then after the second one, it was like, oh, you gonna get me, aren't you? And then the third one, I was like, man, it's like, oh, so I started laughing. I was like, oh, that's funny, man. That's good. Yeah, keep on. I said, Lord, if you didn't take me now, I don't think you're going to. Maybe you got something for me to do here. You know what I mean? And after the 6th one, I was just sitting there going, I mean, that lightning was so loud that it stomped off over the mountain there, towards Magnetic, the Mount Oberon, where Jesus is there. This is the statue, Of course, he won that statue down at the chapel too, but uh, stomped off like a giant. I was like, man, instead of that lightning, and it wouldn't have done the trick if there was a booming voice that came out of somewhere and told me what I needed to do. And I'm sure it's many, many things. Like it's something new every fucking day, right? That the plan is got us in. We are part of the operating system program, you know, or we wouldn't be here. We'd been gone. We're still here through the whole thing. You know how many people fucking died just in the past 3 years due to this fuckery? And then there's some people saying that that's the will of God. God wanted the nanotech. Really? No, not really. I don't think so. Not to this level. Not to the level to the will of man. I mean, it might be the will of God that it exists, but we're manipulating it to do bad things. And I don't give a fuck what you say. You cannot defend what's just happened. No fucking defense in the world. And that's what I said. The ideological subversion was in place in 1985. They took the fucking Berlin Wall down. Why do you think they let us take the fucking wall? Why do you think they got a section of the motherfucking Berlin Wall up there before you get to Jesus? Huh? Right up the fucking hill. I mean, like, I'm living underneath the feet of Christ. To me, that's the best protection in the world. Like, I need to be protected. I don't think, really, I do. But I feel I've always felt something protecting me, you know. And I always knew it was what y'all called Jesus. I knew the man. The guy that took body down from Pilate, put him in the fucking sepulcher, dude, then walked the fuck off. Knew it was going to happen, or what people were going to say was going to happen. But, you know, that's just part of my remembering. And you know, if you look up, okay, take my name, Yosef. Seph, Seph, what goes after that? Sephiroth, the Sephardic Jews. And then you look, that's mainly Hispanic Jews, but also the what is it, Anasazi Jews? How do you say that? I'm not a linguist by any means, but I am a wordsmith. Yeah, look at Wikipedia. So now, one of my grandpas, my mom's side, came from the island. You know where the 300 had their battle on the coast of Greece there. There's some islands out there. My grandpa's was from. That they came from, you know, the Holy Land there up in the Mediterranean, and then eventually that side made it to Poland and over to Ireland and back here. But, you know, they burnt the records. They burnt records in every fucking major city and everywhere, you come to find out, in the early 1900s to cover that reset that they did, you know. They did a great deception, man. A great deception. And they were allowed to because the coast was clear. The coast was clear. Dude had done come back and took with the essence, right? All of those innocent and purified and ascended and clean, the righteous. And those of us that were left here, those of us that know who we are by now, there shouldn't be too many of us that don't know who the fuck we really are. You know, I mean, I'm not talking specifically. I mean, you know in your heart what you're doing is right. You get affirmations and confirmations every day that what you're compulsed to do is divinely, quote unquote, guided or inspired, or, you know, you're fulfilling direct commandments from the man. It's all right if dude's talking to you in your head, telling you, If you're doing good things and people are like in awe of you arriving in an environment, in a room, that's okay if some people look at you and fucking in disgust and walk off. Those aren't the motherfuckers that we need to focus our attention on right now. Don't get mad at them and say, "Hey, motherfucker, I'm all right." No, let them walk on. Say, fucking do what they want. Most of them are popped with the shit anyway. And I guarantee you, when people do that to you, if you pull the shit out and scan them down, they got it up in them. You know, they've got the ideological subversion, cognitive dissonance technology in them now. It's not just what the TV and the media had fucking done to us, the conditioning that they put us through. There's a lot of deprogramming I had to do to myself for a long time. Hell, it's only been since 2015 since I really, watched TV every day. And that was History Channel and cooking shows. You know, Anthony Bourdain, God rest his soul. Clinton sided with a tie and doorknobbed his ass. Well, there ain't no doorknobs in this motherfucking house. Or any fancy ties. Goddamn, Zorn, what the fuck is that shit? And I'm not being so high and mighty as to separate myself from normal men or men that identify as fairies or men that have certain pronouns or want to dress like a freak or a sexy woman or pretend that they're sexy and really scare the fuck out of everybody. You know, and just like I dress like I'm going to town, and people will treat me differently if I dress like I'm going to battle. Some people are like, right on, sir. You know, they know I'm there protected. I put on a big sign by wearing what I do, carrying a fucking open carry sword or whatever the fuck I want. Axe. I got a sword. Sword stuck in my backpack, right? There's a slot for that motherfucker because it went with the backpack, and a fucking little mini wood axe that looks pretty nasty on the side of it. And I look like, now at this age with salt and pepper and shit going on, I look like somebody you don't want to, even with, take my fucking glasses off, and I look like some bro you don't want to fuck with. You know what I mean? And I used to not, I used to look real baby facious. I still do, but I got I got a little grit going on. And dude, I'm gonna use it, especially now that I know with confirmation that who I'm working for. Not who I want to work for. Yeah, I wanted to work for the good side. But I was intellectually run through the left-hand path. I am very familiar with the darkness. I walk in the darkness. I am the darkness. But I also, when I'm coming at you through town, dude, you can see me coming a mile away, and my light's so fucking bright, dude. Just like guys that can see it, with people that can see it, or that aren't comfortable with themselves. Like I was playing this morning, an old Aunt Jemima song. I call it Aunt Jemima songs because it's sinners run and hide your face. Sinners run, and it was a pretty haunting fucking tune. I don't think too many the people up on the hill heard it probably, but I don't have my shit out there on the parabolic like I did. It's getting cold, so I moved operations up into the old greenhouse here. So, any questions? We got 44 minutes here. So I admit that we might be a little off or perceived as a little off, but goddamn it, dude, I'll take a fucking IQ test with you. Finish it before you do, and I guarantee you my score is a lot higher than yours. I'm talking to anybody that's going, yeah, right, whatever, blah blah blah. Now, Mrs. Telling Stewart here She's one of the most brightest women I've come in contact with, especially being of color like she is, and having probably gone through those ropes of albeit I want to say there's not as much discrimination as there was a long time ago, but we lived through discrimination, even though it wasn't as racist as what they want to make it be. And it's always as how you take it anyway, or what you've been told to assimilate that behavior towards uh, you being in public as a colored woman or a white man or a yellow man or someone that doesn't speak the language or someone confused about their sexual identity. I get that. Homosexuality is unclean, but it's not unnatural. It happens in nature sometimes. I mean, when there ain't no heifers around and there's just a bunch of bulls, the biggest bull gets the littlest butthole. Yeah, you know. So I mean, it's been observed in nature. So it doesn't say that it's not natural, but that's nature's will, not the will of the cosmos, or i.e. God's will, or the will of man. But we make our wills, right? We write our wills, right? Like our wills prior to death. So if you guys don't have a what's called a standing will, like a pre-will, like a rough draft of a will, and haven't actually filed it with a lawyer, you could print that up. It's called was it a standing will, I think, something like that. You print it up and you just have that in your safe with your information, where you keep your files and everything, where people go through when you die. And that's your living will, living will, living will. So it's unofficial, but it's still your will, So they have to carry that out, whether it's legal or not. But like whoever delegates the will can if it's not legally binding through a law firm, then they can delegate it how they want. But just having one means that these items have to be delegated to so and so, and this money's got to be split up between blah blah blah. But it doesn't mean there's certain stipulations to having it. Having a living will and a the legal, well, you run it through the lawyer or whatever, or get it notarized. I think you might just have to get a living will notarized, and then it's totally official. But Zam, that short I made with the old man in the parking lot, that's Zam, the resident magician here in Eureka. He's been here 8 years, and I texted him this morning. I told him, bro, I'm helping you out because I've given him a bunch of shit here. Helped him out, went and cleaned up his place yesterday. But that was appreciation because he was the first person that I seen and talked to. He taught me the ropes in here in town of how to get where to go and everything for what I need. Not having nothing. And I respect the man highly. He is he's getting on in age, and he's a little senile, gonna kick in with with the problems all of us homeless people have with a little bit of addiction to this and that. But the man's solid. He knows about everything we know about, and he talks about it. He tries to tell as many people as he can that this is just, it's all an illusion. And he'll prove it to you that it's an illusion because he's a fucking stage magician, and he sells balloons to little kids, and that's the main thing. He makes the little kids happy. And if they go back remembering him and then remembering some little rant he was on while he was twisting the balloons, and they look into it and proceed further and then wind up here where we're at on this level of cognitive appreciation and knowledge of what the fuck's going on, the discernment to separate the bullshit lies and pick out those motherfuckers that would hurt your fucking kids. That's the knowledge he's passing on. So I really appreciate him this morning. I told him, bro, I said, appreciate you paving the fucking way for me. Even though I've been here, really long, not actually living in town, but I've been here. This is my quadrant. I'm the spring guardian, always have been. I always knew that. I purified this. I attempted to do it. I want to believe that what I did with the herbicide really helped a lot, but it's not stopping the zinc white worm from coming up where they uncapped it. The Uric Springs Mining Company did back then, and made a bunch of money off of the zinc, filling silver and gold coins with zinc. Good idea. Make them motherfuckers bigger. Make that penny fucking sized gold coin the size of a silver dollar, right? These motherfuckers banked back then. Nobody fucking knows about the fuckery that happened right around the time of after the reset, after the apocalypse, after the second coming. So there's the faction of Christians that believe that we're in tribulations, and then there's the other ones that know that mud flood was Armageddon, and we're in the ruling of Satan for 1,000 years, and it's like if good men don't stand up and do something, just knowing about this, watching YouTube videos, and educating yourself about it ain't gonna fucking cut it. You have to fucking act. You have to get out there, make people aware, save as many motherfuckers as you can with the knowledge. If they act on it, that's their thing. And if you got the fuckery up inside you, I've been telling you how to get rid of it. First thing is the dimethyl fumarate. We'll get rid of the oxidization, little micro iron magnetic cores from the lipid nanoparticles, right? And then the radiological cancer treatment pills will kill the black goo fucking Bluetooth shit in you. But good luck getting those, right? It'd be better to have CERN beam dump as hard as they can in the sun, and then run outside and stand in the middle of that gamma flash like today. I'm sure whoever was in direct underneath that gamma fucking burst today, maybe out wherever it hit, maybe it was in the ocean, wherever. Maybe it cooked the fucking nanotech out of the graphene oxide and self-assimilating nanoparticles. Maybe it burnt the fucking antennas up in them. I don't know. Is a gamma burst of whatever class from the sun stronger than whatever kind of plutonium or uranium they have in the pills at the hospital that they guard with lock and key, and hazmat will come after your ass if you leave the building with it, right? Like they said, if you didn't take one of those and chew it up in your mouth and spit it out in the lobby, it would radiate the whole hospital. Really? I think they're more worried about everybody getting better real quick and walking the fuck up out of there. Right? So, they perpetrate a big illusion on us all the time. They go, look over here at this, look over here at this, when they're doing something behind your back, Usually fucking one of your kids in the ass or making them do ungodly things with their mouth. But, and then when you do finally see that, they're all, oh no, look over here, and they're constantly leading the fucking horse with the carrot down the dirt road to nowhere, absolutely fucking nowhere. So with that, me and my Jarbo, my vodka, and what's left of my decadent coffee. Shit, now I'm wound up. So there's two of us here. Well, thank you guys for acknowledging that if I didn't upload to Mission Control, then I was probably on my backup channel. So. Oh shit! He got a code strike again. No, it was a McDonald's strike. It was a Tom McDonald strike. I'm waiting for him to make a music video about McDonald's new adult toys. That's gonna be good. Tom McDonald raps about McDonald's new dildo Grimace or butt plug Grimace. Right? Grimace is now a butt plug, and they have 4 eyes. They have 4 eyes. It's traumatic when you tell a young Def Leppard fan the mantra, the drummer for Def Leppard only has one arm. The drummer for Def Leppard only has one arm. Probably the greatest fucking drummer of all time. Lost his arm in a bus accident on tour one day, right? I think they lost a band member of that one. Or was that Metallica lost? When Metallica lost, what was it? Was it I can't remember his name, but what is that? Metcalf. But Metcalf's the main guy, right? Anyway, when Metallica lost their dude, shit changed drastically for him, you know. And some people didn't notice, and other people were like, man, they just totally. Some people just didn't listen to Metallica after that. You know, Garage Days was the shit. A bread fan, dude. Metallica bread fan, right, dude. So like, dude, we probably never get back to the original greatness of 80s, 90s rock, right? Metal. It was so clean and rebellious that we need. Where did that energy go? Where are those guys now? A lot of them, like Rage Against the Machine, they say they sold out. Where you know, they're the guys like me that fucking grew up with this shit are the only ones out there. Some of us are too fucking scared, or their wives won't let them fucking out. That, you know, what the fuck, dude? Do something. Do research. What if you're behind a desk all day? Research your shit. Try and stay on top. People informed, man. And if you find yourself like I am, dude, you make yourself a resource to your community, to the people around you, to where you feel at home, dude. Dude, this is my home. This is me. This is where I'm supposed to be. You know? The old woman down there said, the Indian guy that lived here told her that, you know, this is not your house. You only will dwell here for a short time. And you know, she laments on and on that this is her house, this is her stuff, and she feels weird sharing it with me, even though, you know, I've saved her life 3-4 times and other things. But, you know, and she was going on about vagrants the other day, and I said, Suzanne, Jesus was born in a manger, right? She looks at me like, right? I mean, even you know, you have to fucking, even if you set against it because it's an 80-year-old woman that's speaking her mind and she's set in her ways, you have to remind them of the righteousness of divine inspiration, of the compulsion to, you know, if you. She went on about some loose change, right? But anyway, she don't want me talking about her to my people, but I'm like, you know, there's only a couple people watching. If she watching, good for her. But I this is my therapy, right? This is me talking to you, mainly me getting it out on record for people to see that, mainly for the algorithm to insert it into the program. Algorithms like, yes, sir. Well, so I'm asking you guys to fall in line, motherfuckers. Saddle up or ship the fuck out. Okay? Mission control. Out of here. This is definitely not your father's country.